You know that many modern guitar pedals, like the Strymons that I have here, can be fully integrated and automated into any DAW, including iPad setups, thanks to MIDI. Let's dive into that and be a little bit creative with it. Hi everyone and welcome back, I'm Andre. Lately I've been experimenting a bit with MIDI-enabled guitar pedals like the Strymon BlueSky reverb here, or the Strymon El Capistan, and I figured why not try to integrate them into my iPad setup with Loopy Pro 2.0. So I'll be using an iPad and Loopy here, but you can use any DAW, the same principle apply. But the real beauty in this setup is how Loopy handles elegantly routing and control. Plus it's very portable, so you can take it all on stage. So let's have a look at the layout. Here on the left I have all the controls for the El Cap pedal, and on the right all the controls for the BlueSky pedal. I try to mimic exactly how it's laid out, on the pedal with the time, repeats, whoa and tape H controls that are exactly those. Time, repeats, tape H and whoa here. You see it's two-way communication too. If I move here, it moves also on Loopy Pro. But the goal is to handle everything with the iPad actually, because you have everything at your fingertips and most of the time the pedals are not here, they are on the pedal board. So if we have a look a little more precisely at what a knob does for the time, it just sends a CC12 to the El Cap pedal, and maybe for the repeats it sends CC18. So that's how it works with the CCs. So sure, it's a bit of a hassle in the beginning doing all the mapping and stuff, but in the end we have key advantages in doing this. First, it's very common for pedals to have hidden parameters that are not accessible directly on the front panel. For instance, here on El Cap you have low-end control of the repeats, bias and crinkle, but they are not on the front panel. You have to hold one button, and then I think wow and flutter is the bias. Now tape H becomes the crinkle, and another one controls the low end. I never remember which one it is. But here on Loopy Pro now I have clear control. This is the low end control of the repeats, this is the bias control, and this is the crinkle control. So very easy. Another clear advantage are ergonomics. Usually when you're producing a track, you're in front of your speakers, in front of your computer screen, and you're not crouching down on the guitar pedals at the other side of the room. Another great thing is automation. You can record whatever knob movement into a track or a MIDI loop. For instance here, if at some point I want to record the automation of the feedback knob, I just arm a track and do my whatever movement I have to do, and it will be recorded and played back directly to the pedal. And you can save and actually recall presets for your pedals. For instance, for the El Cap pedal, I have 4 presets that I've made that I use quite often. One is a quarter note delay with some feedback. Another one is a dotted eighth note with some feedback. And I have another one for a tape deck special effect and the sound on sound loop mode. Yeah, the sound on sound looping mode of the El Capistan pedal, a hidden gem. Let's talk about it just a little bit. I have a very fun way of using it inside Loopy Pro. It's a kind of a looper inside of a looper. First you have to set up the pedal properly for this mode. So basically it's tape at single, mod C, time at 3 o'clock, mix at 9 o'clock, and repeats at 3 o'clock. And then wah and flutter, tape H and springs to your liking. Here's how I made it work. First, I saved the preset with the correct settings for the looping mode, here. Then I created 4 buttons to loop 1 bar, 2 bars, 4 bars or 8 bars. For the loop 2 button, those are the messages being sent to the El Capistan pedal, but at a certain timing. For instance, for the first action, I'm asking Loopy Pro to wait until the beginning of the next bar to initiate the sequence. This is really important to keep everything in sync. Then I press and release the tab button, and then I press and release the on button. And then I wait 2 bars, the length of my loop. And then I press again the tab button and the on button. So let's have a quick demo here. I will enter the loop mode of the Strymon pedal with my preset. I will use a synth sound, maybe with this Mariana plugin. That will do. I will send the Mariana to the El Cap with this control. So maybe let's do a 2-bar loop. So we'll start the playback. We'll have a little click, and then I'll press loop 2. And then at the beginning of the next bar, the Strymon LEDs will light up, the tap and on button. And then after 2 bars, the on button will turn off automatically. Start the playback, loop 2. The 2 LED did turn on, and then turn off. Then we have our loop going on. And you see, the nice thing is each time the loop is coming back, it's degrading in sound. Unlike a loop in a DAW or Loopy Pro, each time you process this, the sounds get less highs, a little distortion coming. So that's why I like it very much. We can add to that maybe a little pad at some point. So I press on. Maybe a lower octave. So it's looping and degrading in a very nice way. And the really fun thing is, if I turn this time button here all the way clockwise, the tape will slow down half speed and the pitch will go 1 octave down. Making something really slow and ambient. And now I can send this to the Strymon BlueSky with this control to add some reverb. Maybe some shimmer. And we could start to build on this. And I can record that loop of the ambient stuff directly into Loopy Pro, maybe for 8 bars. So I'll wait a bit and then record this for 8 bars. And you see here, the loop is being recorded. This records whatever comes out of the pedals. Really nice and ambient. And now I can mute the pedals, maybe mute the drum machine, and you see we have our loop. A looper inside a looper. So there you have it. By combining Loopy Pro or any DAW to your MIDI-enabled guitar pedals, you open a new world of sonic possibilities and control of it. So this is a really powerful workflow. You have everything at your fingertips just over here, so you're being really creative really fast, and you're able to access your pedals with whatever instrument you have. I demonstrated it with a synth, but it could be a guitar, acoustic guitar, your voice, whatever. You just send it and then tweak the controls right here while playing the instruments, and that's opened a lot of possibilities. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and let me know in the comments how you actually use your pedals in a DAW environment, and see you in the next one.